We won't be intimidated by criminal threats.
Show us what you got. I'm gonna knock you all on your asses. Never run from a real fight. If you don't stop, you'll get us sued.
Welcome to the future. Transferring to autopilot mode.
It's confirmed, milady. We're under attack.
So it begins.
Hello. Make sure my mic is working right quick before we do everything else. Survey says it is. Hello, everyone, and happy Freya's Day, everyone. Welcome to the stream, and thank you for showing up. I'm not exactly a streamer, nor am I a live entertainer, so I apologize for not the whole rigmarole and song and dance that we would normally do. Hello, Mr. DJ Fly. Hello, Justin Henry. Thank you for joining us. I appreciate you guys. This will not be a terribly long stream, but I do always try to wrap up a Kickstarter by coming by and saying hi, and of course, thanking you all personally. Hello, Daniel. Nice to see you. You are a man. Did someone think I was a woman? I think I'm male. Yeah, definitely. I can check. First up, we did it. Foxxy Vacations 2024 is not only funded, but it did hit the desired marks that I have for our campaigns. And I am happy to say the final issue of Foxxy Vacations is a success. So thank you so much for that. Surveys will be coming from either BackerKit or Kickstarter. I've been told that Kickstarter has really upped their survey game quite a bit. So we're going to look that over the weekend, now that I actually have some numbers I can work with, to find out if that's going to be a better option or not. Hello, John. Nice to see you. Thank you for doing this. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. I presume, sir, if I'm wrong, please tell me. On the internet, you kind of presume everyone's a guy, but that is not always the case. Regardless of what's going to happen forward, we will wait for funds to clear, as we always do for Kickstarter, and then your surveys will go out. From there, we'll send out the digital stretch goal items. These will, of course, include all your stretch goal stuff, comics, those things. I will probably end up using both Kickstarter's messaging system and emails to send you guys direct download links. We've had better luck with that to avoid people missing their downloads. We don't want anybody to miss their stuff. That does happen sometimes, and we kind of feel bad. We get messages like a year later going, "Oh, I didn't know the link doesn't work anymore." Well, yeah, it's been a year. We take them down after 2 weeks, but we'll always, get things back up for you guys and make sure we can get it to you. On a very rare occasion, once or twice, a digital item was destroyed somehow. We deleted it or didn't think we needed it anymore, so it got kind of put in a trash folder on one of our drives. Very rare that happens, but that's why we try to tell everybody, hey, and within 2 weeks, let us know and we'll get everything to you. If you have trouble downloading it, we'll find a way to get it to you. As far as what we have on this campaign, I'm going to do something very, very stupid, and I'm going to try to stream a screen here to show you guys some of the beautiful, beautiful items you're going to be getting during your stretch goals. Give me 1 sec. And I guess I can just do the entire screen. There we go. Bam. Is that going to work? It works. First up, every single backer who above R1, as R1 does not include digital stretch goals, you will get a digital version of this very sexy, very ultra foxy, or ultra naughty is the standard term, Sailor Venus Azumi cosplay here. It will not have the sensor bars on it. If you are in the physical tiers, you'll be getting this also as a sticker in your package. So make sure to check inside the bag with the bag and board to find it in there. You guys are also getting a digital wallpaper pack. I don't have a good image for that one, but that's going to include covers from this year's Foxxy Vacations and 2022's edition of Foxxy Vacations. Also include covers from... This is a damaged copy, so ignore the damage. This version of Foxxy Vacations, some of the items from that will also be available as part of that digital download pack. Another good one we've got is the Yuffie trading card that will be signed digitally by Yuffie. This is a rough mock-up. This is not the final version. The final version you guys will see when we send that to you. You'll get a digital version of that if you're in R2 and above. If you're a physical tier backer, you'll also get this as an actual trading card, kind of like, if I have one that is safe for work, I can show off in front of me. No, because all the trading cards I have are risque. But you'll be getting one of those in your packages as well. They're roughly the size of our mini cover books. I can show this off. So kind of like that, but as a trading card. A big one on this campaign that I was really excited and I'm really glad we got to show it off is that this book has an exclusive back cover. It will never be offered with anything ever again. So screen is small on your end. Some of them are going to be small, some won't be. I'm sorry. Uh, in part because my main monitor is an ultra wide, and then the side monitor is a standard 1080p definition. So things kind of get a little funky when I try to transfer between the two. The ultra wide may not be staying. I don't know yet. I haven't decided if I want to keep it yet or not. The card. Oh, I'm sorry. There is. Can you see it there, Mr. DJ Fly? If you can't, please let me know. That's what the card will roughly look like. It doesn't have the trade dressing on it right now. It will have the Ash Ticket logo and the Foxy Vacations logo on the card when it comes out. But this is the unaltered artwork minus the big Foxy bar across her assets. We obviously can't show that off on YouTube. Or if you want to see that, we'll probably be able to post a low res version of that in the Discord server, but I can't do that publicly because, well, unfortunately, when we have this a magical thing in our country where you can show somebody's head getting blown off with a 12 gauge, but we see a boob. Oh my God, think of the children. Uh, but that's not my job to run those things. The back cover we guys had unlocked was our first stretch goal. I'm really, really happy for this one, and I wanted this to be a poster because, well, honestly, I kind of want this for my own collection of things. And I hope some of you guys picked it up will also enjoy it. This was done by Ash Ticket artist SRX Nico 97. He is fantastic. This is the best piece I think he's ever done for us so far. It is a very much a Frank Frazetta inspired piece. Massive fan of Frazetta's work. His stuff is just beyond beautiful. Big fan of the old Conan work he did and just his paintings in general. So we kind of wanted to do something kind of like that in the same vein, but with our own, waifu style to it. We did that. Super glad that will be the back cover for this book. It's also some guys are getting it as a poster. To follow up, I don't know if there's going to be a backer kit on this campaign yet or not. There will be late pledges through Kickstarter. I need to figure out how that works because I have not done late pledges before. It is a relatively new feature to the platform. So give me the weekend and I'll have everything sorted out. We're kind of still tumbling from the whole experience still. With that down, what I will say next is on behalf of the entire Astro Ticket Comics team, which includes a surprisingly large number of people now: Mitsu Blinger, Krius, SRX Nico 97, Akane, Jay Quick, Izumi, Brooke, Benedita, Gentle Nelly, and Neela Fox, and myself. Thank you. It means everything to us that you guys support our work, and you're keeping us alive. You're keeping our comics flowing. You're taking care of us. So thank you for that. And as we have shown now 12 times in our history so far with what it is we do, we will continue to endeavor our absolute best to get you guys the highest quality of everything that we possibly can and do everything within a reasonable time frame. This delivery for this campaign, I should be able to knock this out before the first of the year. It's going to depend on how fast people decide to fill out their surveys and how fast the print shop is able to physically manufacture the items to get them to me. I can't control those two things. If you don't fill out your survey, I promise you, Brooke or Azumi are going to annoy you about filling them out. We do have some times where our surveys don't get filled out, and then we get a message a year, like 6 months to a year later, going, "I never got my package." Well, yeah, we wouldn't be able to get it to you at that point, man. I'm sorry, it's just not possible. You waited too long. The items are gone. Especially now because we're only going to be printing enough books to cover really the first print run, especially since Foxxy Vacations is not reprinting. Why is Foxxy Vacations not going to be reprinting, and why is this the final issue in Foxxy Vacations? I had a lot of messages about that. Wanting to know, like, was I mad about it? Was I upset with the campaign? It definitely was slower and less pleasant than our usual go-to campaigns tend to do. But that is not why it's the last Foxxy Vacations. There's a very good reason why it's the last one. It's because I want to focus on the new series that are coming out. We have a lot of new things we've been working on. My team's been very busy. I've been very busy with new ideas, new stories. An entire new flagship is about to drop next year, which is amazing and terrifying. And many years of work have gone into this new series. Many editors have gone through it. We've done a lot to make sure this is what it needs to be. We're going to talk about that in a little bit when I start showing some of it off. But that's why it's the last Foxxy Vacations, because I'm I call myself a comic writer by trade, but that's maybe like 10% of my job these days, if it's even that much. But I want to be able to write stories, and Foxy Vacations is not a story comic. It's really just the comic pages that are in it are kind of silly fan service fun. They aren't going to be Eisner or winning pages because they're not designed to be. They're designed to be just be silly fun. Hey, here's Azumi and blowing up a robot and Benedita's big boobs and all those fun things. What we're working on next are actual story comics. Speaking of what we have next, the first book coming out next year, we were going to do it this year, but we decided not to. And the reason for that, I'm going to show this right here. The reason we chose to not launch this book around October is because I think if you live in America, you know there's an event coming up in November that's going to be perhaps a bit tumultuous. And I don't think people are going to be looking to back comics or anything at that time. And with the holidays coming up, everybody's going to be buying holiday gifts, which is totally understandable. I don't know if a Kickstarter item is a good gift because it's like saying, hey, I got you this comic and you'll get it in like 3 months. Maybe not the best. So we're going to wait and launch in January, get an early start on next year. The first book coming on that run will be Pure Intent number 3, The Path to Hell. This is the final issue in the Pure Intent series. This cover over here is, we had originally planned it to come out around October, but as you see, that just didn't work out. So we had a lot of Halloween costume covers that are now going to come in January instead. So it's Halloween in January, sorry. But I think you guys will still enjoy the very sexy outfits and fun that's to be had in these covers. This one right here is done by the Zong brothers. This has Tamaki and Li Hua as Link, and I don't remember, I think Pula? I'm bad with names. I haven't played the New Legend of Zelda, so I don't remember her name entirely. But if anyone out there knows it, tell me. And you may be wondering, why does Tamaki seem a little more risque now? Well, I can answer that question very easily. Pure Intent number 3 takes place about 15 years after the events of issue number 2. So everybody is an adult now. No one's a child anymore. They've all grown up. Tamaki is now in about her early to mid 20s. So that's why she can be on some risque covers now, because time has passed. This is the final issue in the Pure Intent series. It will wrap up with issue number 3. It wraps up Koru's story, Manzano's, and Tamaki's. Sort of. You may see them again at some point and somewhere else. I'm not going to say how. If you read issue 2, you might start to be getting the idea of what's actually happening with Pure Intent story. Issue number 3 will also lay the groundwork for what is going to come next in that universe. I can't say what that is until we get to it. It'll be a little while before we do, but I can tell you guys I am very excited for Pure Intent number 3. It's got some really fun stuff happening in it. We get to see how trauma works a little bit, whereas it doesn't kick in immediately. Sometimes it takes years to manifest and finally hit you. So we're going to explore more of that in Pure Intent. The book still doesn't have a lot of sexuality in it because Pure Intent's not a series designed for that. You're going to get that in covers. We're going to make up for it to you. But if you want the sexuality, and the reason why I can't change images to it is because this book will also come coupled with Mistress Suzumi's Adult Lessons, lesson number 3. I can't show off literally anything from that book on here because outside of 1 or 2 panels, they all include nudity or vast displays of lascivious behavior. So I just can't do that on YouTube. I know some guys have said that they love Mistress Suzumi. That's great because we have more of her coming. That series is not ending anytime soon. It's a fun little side series that will come with other books still. Eventually, we might do a volume run by itself, but not just yet. So Pure Intent number 3 will have I call it a 16 plus story, but the violence and themes might be more 18 plus. We just don't go into sexuality. That comes coupled with Mistress Suzumi, so you can get either or both, depending on what your taste may be. Be excited for that one. This Mistress Suzumi has been drawn by Neela Fox and is being colored by Krius. That book is 99% done, and it will be out in time for January. Krius is finishing up the coloring on it now. I'm excited for that one. There you guys are. All I'm going to say is for the new Mistress Suzumi, I can't say what her lesson is about, but I can tell you you're probably going to want to bring a raincoat for this one because you are going to be getting wet. The next book coming out, we don't know if book number 2 or 3, which one it's going to be yet. It's kind of depend on how far we are at the time and how things look. Both books are essentially ready, but we have to have time and resources and all those fun little things you have to do this. Suck You Busted, number 4, the final issue in the first arc of the story, So we hear a little page sample of Succubusted number 4, Love, Lust, and Lesbians. That is the subtitle of that book. I'm sorry. This one wraps up the first story of Liam and Rita trying to take down Oro, the greed demon, who is, as we find in the 4th issue, working with this evil witch Romina as they attempt to open up an illegal hell portal to summon demons to take over the city of Jacksonville. After living in Jacksonville, I can tell you I don't think I'd notice a difference, but hey, I needed a place that we knew to work with. Most of the issue takes place in Gainesville, Florida. So you're going to see the characters travel there. It wraps up the A story of Liam and Rita. If you guys have read the series, this is no spoiler, I hope. It's kind of a love story underneath its lewd screen. And that's the A story of Liam and Rita. We'll see what happens with them. Does Rita finally get to bag Liam? Does she finally get him to recognize her feelings, or does he just kind of shove her off? We'll find out. There's also the B story of Kimiko and Queen Basfira, the Queen of Lust. Both of them are being kind of, for lack of a better term, boss bitches in their own world. We will get to see what happens with their story. That will wrap up in this book. So both stories will wrap up. It also lays a little bit of the groundwork because Succubusted was intended to end at issue number 4. We're gonna, all right, if we wrap it up. Everybody's story's wrapped up. We're done. But you guys really like Succubusted. John, you just said, like, you guys like Succubusted. You really do. So the good news on that one is Succubusted number 2, not the second book. The number 2 of the series is already been started. It is the first issue is written, and Mitsu Blinger is working on it now. So there will be Succubusted number 2, Dirty Angels is the next story. We did show off on this campaign Rhoda, which is Rita's incubus twin brother. If you are concerned about getting fan service from a femi male character in the book, I'm going to tell you right now, don't be, because Rhoda does show up as a main character in the new arc of Succubusted. He's not a fan service character though, so you're not going to be getting boy butt in your face or rooster and berries. We're not going to do that to you. There may be some covers with that. If that's your thing, we got you. Don't worry about it. But the fan service is still going to be isolated entirely to the female cast. Rhoda is going to be more. His comedy has been intentionally written to be more of a kind of your stand-in horn dog character, where he just kind of wants to sleep with pretty much everyone of his taste that he sees. He'll be fun. I will tell you guys another succubus that we have seen in issues 1 through 4 already shows back up in the second arc, and she will join the cast as a main character as Liam and Rita are now assigned to a witness protection case. I can't go to anything into it, but again, it is Succubusted Dirty Angels. I'll let you guys figure that one out. There's going to be a lot of fun when we get to that. And the big one that I really was excited to talk about, that I keep hinting at it and I keep previewing it, our new flagship series, The Manticore. This has been a process for about a year plus now. It's probably been 2 years of my life working on The Manticore. I'm going to preface this by saying that 5 issues of this book are currently in production. 5. That is because this book is the amalgamation of everything that we have learned from Kickstarter. Our books are designed for a Kickstarter audience. They're made for you guys. We've actually talked to comic shops before and they like it, but sometimes they can't put our stuff in the shops because the whole having an 18+ section is kind of going away in the comic world. So most of those kind of comics are being sold mostly online as opposed to being in stores. Manticore contains some of the serious and dark themes that you're going to encounter in Cremisi and Pure Intent. Not consistent, of course, because there's different missions, different things. I'll get into that in a minute. It also contains the ecchi comedy of Succubusted, and everything you have seen in Mistress Azumi's Adult Lessons. If you think that was lewd, that is nothing compared to what I okayed happening in Manticore. You will see characters actually perform the deed and very things. The rule of still no visible penetration exists, but it gets far lewder than anything I've ever done. The unofficial tagline for this book is fighting, food, and fucking. And you're going to know why when you read it. Issue 0 will either be the second or third book we release next year. Issue 0 is called Recruited. And what that issue is, this is a high fantasy World War I-esque kind of universe where there's been a great war been fought for many years now and nobody's gaining any ground. And the nations that are allied are essentially just fighting their own enemy on a one-on-one fight while being allied mostly in name, not really helping each other outside of some supplies. So, for example, humans, as you guys might have seen from the trailer video that we show off here, the Toonami stuff to it, Humans are fighting the undead. They're fighting a legion of necromancers. The elves are fighting goblins, but they've never helped each other fight their enemies. So a rather mysterious intelligence officer has this idea of creating the world's first mixed species special operations group, hence become the Manticore, as a manticore is an amalgamation of parts of an animal to one creature, and core being like Marine Corps. There we go. That's how we got the name. A big shout out to Jay Quick for helping me think that name up. Uh, it throws all these different characters into it. Right here we have Cena Springwood. She is a dark elf archer, rank specialist. We are using army rank. So those of you who are familiar with the American Army, we are using their rank system because it's just kind of a easier one to work with. The problem is that the individuals who get chosen for the Manticore, I don't know if they're even qualified for military service, let alone special operations. The rule of this is that the Manticore is never allowed to win because they're just good enough to win. It's kind of like how Wile E. Coyote had rules about they wrote him, how he was allowed to engage with the Roadrunner, certain things he could and couldn't do. Very similar idea here. The Manticore will never win because they're good enough. They will win because of something wild happening or just an idea that's so out of the box that it ends up working. This book is an 18+ book. There is frequent amount of nudity in this book at every possible turn. It will be heartwarming. It will make you cry. It will make your pants tighter. It will make you feel everything it can. The idea when I first started working on Manticore was I wanted this to be my Lady Death, where Coffin and Mr. Polito have infinite tales of Lady Death they can tell. I want to have a story of characters where I can send them on missions that have meaning, that follow a coherent story, but we can do a lot with them. The way this book is going to work, issue 0 will come out either the second or third book of next year, and that will include 4 chapters, 5 chapters. Each chapter shows how each member gets added to the Manticore, how they get selected for it. Each chapter is done by a different artist and or artist colorist combo. And including right now, we have Aldi Fazan, Nox Kuro, Akane, Krius, Mitsu Blinger, and the Zong brothers. Heavy hitters. And I will tell you, this book has not been cheap to manufacture, but that's okay because I want it to be good for you guys. You guys deserve the best. Issue 0 will come out. That shows how they get into it, and then from there, every story will be told in 2 issue long arcs. So this is or missions, you could think of them as. So here's a mission where we do this thing. Well, that's all done. Those 2 issue long missions are done by one artist and colorist, and then the next mission maybe a different artist and colorist, and it will keep going in that fashion to tell a coherent story. But if you miss an issue, you don't have to like go back and reread. You can just hop in at any point. It's intentionally being written and designed to be a very easy series to hop into for anybody. You can just jump in and go at any point and really enjoy yourself. I can tell you that there's a lot more sex happening in this book than you might think. There's a lot more action happening, and there are things that you have never seen from my studio before happening. Some tropes such as dragons or futanari may be things that we may encounter. Furries may be encountered. All kinds of things can be encountered because this is a high fantasy universe. There are no rules. So in a universe where we have characters who are using bolt action rifles, we are also going to be seeing archers and tanks that are operated by a giant frog that breathes fire, and magic and undead monsters and fusions of undead corpses into creatures, witches, old world monsters, everything you can think of. It's been a work of mine for many years now, and I'm really excited to show that off to you guys. We're going to see more of it as next year progresses. Issue 0 is going to be awesome. Will this series have connected covers? I don't know what you mean, Justin. Can you explain a little bit better for me, Justin? I don't know what that means. Connected covers. You mean like if you put them together, they form one coherent image? If so, I haven't planned on them, but we can definitely do that. We've talked with one or two of our artists about doing those kind of things before. We are looking at some new ideas with things we can do with the covers. Uh, Unfortunately, lenticulars, I still can't find a supplier in the United States that's going to do it. My colleagues that I'm aware, the guys I know who do it, what they tend to do is they get together in a group and they order from like a big shop in like Malaysia or China. And I don't really have that option at this time. But Justin, yeah, issue 0, I don't think does, but we will absolutely look into doing more of those as time goes on, solely because it is about, if you guys like let's say let's like Suck You Busted. You guys like Suck You Busted. It primarily focuses on one really sexy Really cute, really fun. Oh, is it the camera gonna pick it up? No, the camera won't pick it up. There we go. There. Demoness and her Calyptian booty, which is great. But Manticore is going to have a squad of 4 very sexy characters for you to enjoy. And as the stories go on with their missions, they will get a 5th member for most of their missions. It will come in for that mission and then perhaps leave. Maybe they'll come back. Maybe they die. I don't know. Things could happen. Can't wait to show that off to you guys. So next year's schedule, as it currently stands, is Pure Intent number 3 / Mistress Suzumi's Adult Lessons number 3, 2 threes. Will be in January. We plan that for January. If it gets pushed back, we'll tell you. But I'm going to be working to make sure January is doable. After that, it will be either Suck You Busted number 4, Love, Lust, and Lesbians, or Manticore number 0, Recruited will be the second book. And whichever one of those isn't the second book will then be the third book of next year. I don't think we'll get pushed back to just 2 books again next year. One reason why we're launching in January to kind of get ahead of that. I'm trying to get us back to the 3 book a year run. It's just kind of it's hard to do for one person, essentially. The artists obviously do their jobs. Azumi is a huge help. Benedita helps pack things sometimes. But the majority of it is just me doing everything by myself. So it does take a little bit longer. So I'm sorry for that. That's what I've got for today, guys. Seriously, thank you. Thank you so much for supporting what we do. You're keeping us alive, and I've got a lot more stuff coming. Yes, I guarantee there will be trading cards always now. We got more requests for trading cards, and trading cards are not hard for us to do. They're really fun and they're really exclusive and they're easy to pack. So yes, Justin, I can assure you, sir, there will be many more trading cards on pretty much everything we do moving forward. Trading cards will be there. We will try to do a poker chip again at some point in time. We are also expanding our digital library a good bit. Upcoming Pure Intent number 3 / Mistress Suzumi's Adult Lessons number 3 will be the first time Mistress Suzumi's Adult Lessons will be available. I'm going to switch images right here so it's not so boring. Will be the first time it will be available in digital at all. I had to get some agreement to do that. I had to pull some strings. Magnets and signed books. Magnets, yes, I love magnets. We don't normally say a book will be signed because it's just a time. It's you guys have probably if you back Kickstarter and you read comics, you've seen the guys, the big boys like Mr. Polito who have these massive tables full of books and he just runs down them signing them. He has a warehouse. I don't. I have an office in my house. So it's a little harder for me to sign mass quantities of books. But if you ever want a book signed, message us on Kickstarter, message us in the Discord, and say, hey, this is my backer name. I'd like to have my book signed by Isaac. I will sign it, no cost, nothing. I'll be happy to do that. I just normally don't because some people want it, some people don't, and it's kind of hard to track for just one person. And I don't have a warehouse with 8-foot tables lined up with books and me to just run through it like, Toledo or really, really rich guys have. I can't do that one yet. We'll get there maybe. If you guys have any other questions, please let me know. If not, what I am going to do in a second here is feed the cats because they're starting to attack me. They need food. Oh, and of course, that brings me to today's sponsor. We always have sponsors because I think it's fun. So today is sponsored by We are sponsored by Nibble, the comic eating cat. If you want to feed the cat, buy more comics because she does, in fact, like to eat them if she can get to them. Will the series have a catch up? Which series? Are you talking about Pure Intent, Mr. Suzumi? Mr. Suzumi is kind of episodic, so there's no real catch up to be done. As far as Pure Intent, yes, we are going to put a catch up tier in the Pure Intent series since it's the end of the series and there's 2 previous issues. Succubus will also get that. Manticore will always offer its previous installments on its campaigns. We are going to cut down a little bit on the number of add-ons on the campaigns because it's getting kind of ridiculous. So what you'll probably see for add-ons for the comics moving forward is going to be the A covers and then a digital option for each of them. And we'll try to do some stacks of them together. So the answer is yes, Justin. We will be doing catch-up tiers on the books as they go forward. As we've finally, and I can't believe we've come this far. far enough to be able to allow catch-up things to exist. We have enough books under our roster now to do that. So yes, that will absolutely be happening. Any other questions, guys? Drink real quick. If that's it, guys, what I'm going to do, I'm probably going to take tonight and just kind of relax and let it all kind of go. But you have a simpler add-on on the second page of your Kickstarter. Simpler add-on. What do you mean by a simpler add-on? You could explain, John? I'm happy to answer it. I don't think I understand the meaning entirely. A simpler add-on. Not sure. You mean like the sample pack that like the digital sampler that we usually do? We do have the sample pack that's available on our website. And you can also, I think the campaign still has it. There should be a link to a Google Drive on the Kickstarter for Foxxy Vacations. It samples all the previous books that we currently have active. That it will be getting updated when after Manticore comes out to have samples of Manticore involved. That answers your question, John. Please let me know because I'm not sure. Admittedly, I'm running on very little sleep, so I could be just misinterpreting. I'm afraid campaigns are very busy times. In all access options. So not everything is available digitally. I have to get so what happens is we commission many artists. If they're in house, like Krius, Mitsu Blinger, SRX Nico, Neela Fox, that's not so hard to do because they're actually part of the team. But when we commission like a big name, I'll say like Lyrics, right? Like Lyrics is big with Marvel right now. Her career's taken off. I have to have her explicit written permission to release anything of her artwork beyond what was initially agreed to. So, like when we commission her, say, hey, we're going to use it as a cover. If I want to make it a standee or a sticker, I have to get an okay to do it. Otherwise, I can't do it. I'll get in trouble. So if I send an email saying, hey, can I release this digitally? I don't get a response. That's basically a no. I can't do it until they say yes. So there will be more digital options moving forward with what I'm allowed to present forward. We definitely saw in this campaign with Foxxy Vacations didn't go as fast as I'd hoped. We decided to use it as an experimental run. Like, okay, let's add this to how this does. See how people like this, how they respond to this. And digitals are definitely a thing you guys seem to like and ask more of. So we will be expanding our digital content in the future. You will see that on Pure Intent #3. You will see that. That's one reason why we were finally able to get the rights to release Mistress Azumi's Adult Lessons digitally as well, because we had to start pushing for it. We saw everybody was really just asking for more digital content. So there will be more. You will get everything in digital. The only exception is going to be certain covers will not be available in digital, and that has to do with the age-old question of licensing agreements, permissions, yada yada yada, and that gets more complicated the bigger the name artist you work with. Someone who has Marvel and DC credits it's more of a challenge. They're not bad people by any measure. It's just a little more hoops to jump through to be allowed what you can and can't do with the artwork at that point, as opposed to if I work with, like, let's say Mitsu Blinger, who is our chief artist. I can just call her and be like, hey, let's do this, and she's 99.9% of the time says, yeah, sure, whatever. I want to get in trouble with art. Oh, I didn't get in trouble. Don't worry, John. I did not get in trouble. We are very careful about that. I am super, super hesitant about a lot of things. And if you ever ask a question to Brooke or Azumi and they seem like they're not really able to answer it, that's because they have to go to me sometimes for certain things. And I know we had questions on this one, like, oh, I want to know if this is digital, and they couldn't really answer it. We're like, well, I can't answer it either. I got to send an email to artist X and hope that they reply to it and hope that they say yes within the time of the campaign. It may happen, it may not. And in this case, on certain covers, it didn't happen. Or I got a couple of them, I was told, no, you may not release this digitally. And I have a big emphasis on respecting artists, especially because of this absolutely abhorrent AI thing that's come out now that's just it's stealing people's work and doing all these horrible, evil things with absolute sociopathic behavior. We always talk to them first and make sure to get their approval, make sure they're comfortable with it, make sure they're happy with what they're doing, what they're working on. Further example of this is like Mitsu Blinger will not draw the Manticore because she's not really into that kind of setting. So we said, okay, cool. we'll give it. And then Krios wants to draw it. Akane wants to draw it. We have other artists that want to draw that kind of series. So instead, we said, okay, Mitsu, well, News Like You Busted, arc's ready. And she goes, yes, I want that. You got it. We make sure that the artists we assign work to enjoy the kind of content they're working on. I've said this before, and I apologize if I sound like a broken record. I am a big believer that when you open a comic book, I don't care what kind of book it is. I don't care if it's a pinup book or if it's just like, a manga, whatever. You can tell when you open it if the artist who was drawing it was doing it for a paycheck or if they actually cared about the story and the characters. Uh, I hate to say it, but there's some like Spy X Family whose creator has admitted that he has no attachment to the story and his characters whatsoever. And I think in the manga, when I've read it, I can kind of feel that. When you watch the anime, it's not as obvious because animation is a little bit better at hiding that. But in a written page, especially in comic or manga, I think you can definitely feel it. So I make sure the artists we work with that the artists pick what they want to do. I give them a list like, hey, this is what we have available. What do you want? And then they go for it. One reason why you'll always see from our team the really sexy and lewd stuff come out of Krios or SRX Nico 97. Those are two individuals who very much enjoy that kind of content. So we give them that kind of content when we need it. Like, hey, you guys like drawing moisture and fun? Here you go. You want to do this? Cool, let's go. Is that why this had a cover that's only over 7 days? That was for a different reason that I can't go into. But that was the Amoradora's wet version. We call it the wet version of Izumi and Brooke, where Izumi is in her Wonder Woman cosplay from Miss Izumi's Adult Lessons #2, and Brooke was cosplaying Makoto from BlazBlue. The wet version was available for the first 7 days, yes, as the early Fox special. Early bird specials seem to be a new kind of trend on Kickstarter, so we just kind of, well, hey, if that works for them, let's take a swing at it for ourselves and see what we can do. And that's where that kind of came from. The dry version became available later, and I think the dry version is in the cover gallery digital and the physical cover gallery volume that we put together. I'll be getting all that ready I'll be getting all of that to the printers. Well, I can't send it to them until the money clears because they don't want to get it until they're ready to get paid. But we'll have it all ready in time. And we start an AI. Yeah, we are one of several groups who have petitioned Kickstarter to try to ban the use of AI art on the platform. It seems that they are approaching it very tentatively. And in their defense, I kind of get why. While we enjoy Kickstarter, we like working with them. The reality of it is, Kickstarter is a business, and they have to make decisions based entirely on what is the most profitable for their business. I understand that completely. That makes sense. And until the AI thing starts to either cause enough of a backlash where it's no longer a whisper of stop, it's a scream, or it impacts their bottom line, they're probably not going to do anything about it. And the best way to show that you don't want AI on Kickstarter is to not back a project that uses it. That's the best thing any of us can do. When we talk to other creators that are working together, like we do the cross promos and stuff, if there's AI, we won't talk to you. Period. We immediately cut contact. We won't work with them. Any artist who uses AI, we won't work with. We actually, even the stuff that we post to social media, one of the things that I hate that we have to do now is we have to use a program called Nightshade to quote unquote poison the images we post. So if you see them on the Kickstarter or on any of our social media, sometimes even in the Discord server, those images have been quote unquote poisoned so that AI can't scan them and steal them as easily. We also have it now when artists send me stuff. I have a team of artists now who will review it to make sure it's not AI. And I also have a thing called Hive, which is an AI scanner. And we'll throw it into that, and it will calculate with every known, Mid-Journey, whatever AI program, the likeliness in percentages that item was made with AI. Hey, RCB, good to see you. I hope you'll at least make an appearance at Ancient City Con. If you guys are in North Florida, around the St. Augustine area, or South Georgia, I will be at Ancient City Con in September 13th, September something, early September. We'll be there, and along with the voice of Daggett and Invader Zim, and I'm really excited to meet him. Actually, for the first one of the few times, I'm like, oh, I really want to meet this guy. Young lady. Speaking of Nibble the comic eating cat, here she is. Well, guys, I am going to go for the night. If that's all, I need to get some food and among many other things that I need to do. This weekend, I will spend most of my time getting things straightened up from post-campaign work, which is always a lot. And you will hear from us. You'll see an update next week on the Kickstarter about what we're going to do next, when surveys are to be expected, how they're going to be delivered, all those fun little things. So until then, guys, I am going to go. Have a great night. Thank you for coming. I appreciate you guys. I'll be around in the Discord if you guys need anything. I love you guys. Thank you so much for supporting us. I don't have the words to express how much I appreciate it. Thank you.
We won't be intimidated by criminal threats.
Show us what you got. I'm gonna knock you all on your asses. Never run from a real fight. If you don't stop, you'll get us sued.
Welcome to the future. Transferring to autopilot mode.
It's confirmed, milady. We're under attack.
So it begins.